You're a very interesting guest. What do you think about cancel culture?
The?
Cancel culture.
Cancel?
Cancel culture. So there's this culture where we all go on social media and we come and say, you know, Babu, Owino is this, and we all hashtag and we are trying to destroy you. We come and say, Babu, Owino should not be given votes. Cancel culture.
You see, my brother.
It's picking up steam here. Like the other day you saw they got Shaffie Weru fired from...
Let me tell you something.
From his job. And we didn't hear any of you guys say anything.
Let me tell you something. There was a debate of a person called Lonfula and Hart about law and morality. That is in jurisprudence. In jurisprudence. And it is clear that what is moral to you is not necessarily moral to me. For example, if Kibe smokes cigarettes, Babu might not like it. Therefore, to Babu, it is amoral. Or, in simple words, it is not moral to Babu. But to Kibe, it is a good thing. Okay? In the United Kingdom, they allow what we call euthanasia, where if you want to die and you can't live anymore and you are sick because of terminal illness, you can say, terminate my life. It is not allowed in Kenya. So there it could be part of morality, but here it is not moral. So nobody has the yardstick to measure morality. But there is bare minimum that we should not go below. But the Bible also says that no man, no woman is righteous before the Almighty God. Nobody is righteous. At least one person has fallen short of the glory of the Lord. And therefore, Babu Owino has no yardstick to judge Kibe on what Kibe is doing. But there's bare minimum, the threshold where we can coexist and we can live and we can say that you don't pass this, you don't pass this level. We must reach this level. If you reach here, you can't go beyond that. Just there. So therefore, people are living with a lot of pressure, Kibe. Social media is a medium that has made life easy and has destroyed life at the same time. Where I must go in social media to get approved. Who told you that you need approval of a fellow human being? If God has proven that Kibe is the right person to live, can a human being give you life?
But this cancel culture has teeth. You know, it's not like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah?
It's
not like Itambo, you didn't have teeth.
Kibe, you cannot control what a person says about you, but you can control how you take it. So therefore, do not give a person your environment to control. Be the boss of your environment.
But Babu, that day they went for Shaffie Weru and they forced the company's hand using this group of...
That's a weak company. That's a weak company. A strong company must know why they employed a person of Shaffie Weru, of Kibe for that matter. A strong company must know that the reason why I employed this person is because of this and this and this. What if today they start making noise about another person? Will the whole company lose its staff because people are saying that you need to fire this person? No. So those are weak leaders in that company who are making decisions. They must be strong and say, what is the mistake that this person did? If you talked about vibaya juu ya women, then we warn you, you don't need to talk about juu ya women. But the company must go on. The company must grow because of what? Because of what you wanted to achieve with this person that you brought in. But again, we don't support the bare, we don't go below the bare minimum of morality. For example, we've seen what is happening here, the femicide. We don't support that. You can't support it. Any other normal human being cannot support that because you consider that it is not proper.
But but femicide is not a real word, is it?
But you see...
No, I mean, not according to law. You cannot go and argue femicide in the courtroom, right?
But you see, you cannot argue femicide, but you can argue murder.
So murder is murder. Murder is, yeah.
Yes.
So
but
why give it another name then?
But you see, the fact that there's been consecutive ways of killing women in a specific systematic way, and this reminds me of a case of John Mills versus the Republic in the United Kingdom, where a gentleman was killing children in a specific way, in a bathtub, and burying them at the back of the house. Specific way. When this person went, when an extra child was killed, this person wasn't seen, but they went for this person, arrested this person, they put him inside. The High Court said that this person is guilty of murder. then he appealed. When he appealed, the Court of Appeal set him free and said that, you know, the fact that a person has always been killed in a specific way does not mean that it is this specific person who went and killed that child in a specific way if you didn't see this person. Okay? And he was exempted and excused by what we call the doctrine. This is heavy. Of the contemporaneous similar fact evidence. Contemporaneous similar fact evidence. Okay? So, in other words, Kibe.
But we don't
in other
have
words, let me tell you something. There's been a systematic way by which our girls icon. There's been a systematic way by which our ladies, our sisters, are being killed in a systematic way. Okay, they are being taken to Airbnbs. You know, it is, you've agreed. A lady has agreed to come. Amekuja.
But
why do you kill this lady again?
Let me push back on that.
Why should you kill this lady again? Ameshakupatia hata
umefanya mambo yako. The only thing that I have a problem with, right, is we don't have a serial killer in Kenya. Okay? The one you talked about in the UK, that was a serial killer. The one here, there are no serial killers because everybody who has done any crime is being arrested, male or female. But my problem is, we shall sit by and watch the NGOs come up with a new term like femicide, and it means nothing because a crime is a crime. A crime should be, isn't it the same? Shouldn't it be homicide or murder? So we deal with that crime at that particular moment.
Of course,
because you cannot tell us.
Of course, somebody will be charged with murder.
Yes.
But all in all, we must agree, you and I, Kibe, we must agree that before we had our mothers, we have our sisters, we have our mothers, we have daughters, we have our wives. So by the end of the day, my brother, you wouldn't want such a thing to befall any close relative of your family.
Which thing, Babu?
Such a thing of killing in a specific way.
No, it's not.
Okay.
These people are saying it is. But Babu, how many Airbnbs do we have in Kenya?
We have several Airbnbs, but the problem...
In fact, so many that right now we are bypassing Airbnb to talk to the owner of the house direct to do the business. Okay? Everybody who is going into an Airbnb is known by Airbnb, the app.
But you
so
see,
everybody who's going, all these buildings have CCTV and everything. So the people, all they are going to do is fuck. Now, the serial killers or the killers who you guys are saying exist don't, because everybody has one murder.
Let me tell you.
There are how many? There are only 5 names the other day when these people went on the streets. 5 people. They have at least of 5 people. 5 people is not serial killing.
But you see, losing one life, Kibe, is not something that we can celebrate about, because that one life, you don't know what this person could have changed, transformed to be in life. This person could have changed other lives, could have touched other lives for the positive. But all in all, we can't support any kind of...
Some of these were prostitutes, Babu.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so she's already committing a crime.
Somebody can be a prostitute. Somebody can be a prostitute because there is no any other means to survive.
We agree, but prostitution is illegal.
It is illegal,
yes.
Just like the same way my mother used to sell changa was illegal.
Yes.
But they raised me through selling changa.
So
somebody
now,
can decide, and you see,
we have
for a prostitute to sell herself, it needs another prostitute to come and buy.
Yes.
Okay, so it is willing buyer, willing seller.
We
if it is willing buyer, willing seller,
yes.
Then there's what we call the private morality. That what you do behind curtains, in closed doors,
yes.
should not affect the public morality. Okay?
But, I mean, if today Coast Bus is traveling from here to Mombasa and they get an accident and 10 people die, we're not shutting down Coast Bus, are we?
Definitely.
Unless we are able to establish negligence.
The problem, yes, now,
yeah.
now
we have to come up, we have to create a code of conduct
we were being taught
between prostitutes and the buyers, and say this is a code of conduct. From between now and then, when you guys are buying sex, this is how you buy it. Because it's happening anyway.
When you talk about an example of the coast bus and negligence, if we notice that the coast buses are having a specific electrical problem, even let's talk even about the planes. or even that coast buses, that they are causing accidents and people are dying, and then should be investigated that what are the causes of these deaths. And in these deaths, there's an interesting case that we were learning in law of a person called Donohue versus Stevenson. That this person went to drink beer. Then in a bar, when he opened the beer and drank the remains of snails, he drank also the remains of, he noticed that there were remains of snails in the bottle. And therefore, the issue of negligence came. And when the issue of negligence came, this person had to be paid because the other person, the owner of the bar, owed this person the duty of care. Okay? Otherwise, they will be vicariously liable in tort for the offenses committed already. Now, back home, if umekatia dem kibe, dem amekubali. Na the fact that dem ametoka kwa club na wewe, akaingia na wewe kwa room, alikuwa anataka akupatie. Otherwise angekataa aende, si ndio? So akikuja akikupatia na umeshakula, unamaliza kwa nini? So mwache ukule tena kesho. Unamaliza kwa nini?
Babu, you're an actualist.
Mwache ukule kesho, amekosa nini?
Babu, hii si tikina wewe. Wewe ni msee umesoma mpaka statistics.
Yes.
That's what actuary is, right? You guys are able to look at situations and
risk management.
Thank you.
Yes.
With the numbers that we are doing Airbnb every day, we as single men don't do Airbnb. Married people like you guys are the ones who do Airbnb. But with the numbers that we are doing Airbnb,
we withdraw you.
No, I mean everybody knows Airbnb is for married people. Yeah. And prostitutes. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, no, not you, Babu. Babu, you're a reformed man.
Yeah, I used to do it many years back.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're not discussing you here. But with those numbers, statistically, there is an agreeable amount of risk. There is an agreeable amount that today, if 10,000 people are driving on the roads, if we have 20 accidents, we can say that's an agreeable amount. We agree this is not too bad. If we have 1,000, then we have to look at that 1,000 and say, hey, what's going on here? Okay? So even in business, there's a risk. And the risk here, and the business here is prostitution. Because the people who are not doing prostitution... No, tuseme ukweli. Juzi Sister Kanyari ameuliwa. Why did they hush it up quickly? Because they realized that she was doing prostitution.
You can't rush to that, Kibe.
But so if we cannot rush, what are we doing on the streets?
Let me tell you something. We cannot rush and make a conclusion that what she was doing was prostitution. Let me tell you something. You know,
so my argument was...
We also talk about higher risks, higher rewards, right? Now, somebody... Assume that now you're in the shoes of the lady. You've been talking to this person. He's been friendly. There's no signs shown that he's a bad person. He comes, he's very good, he's well groomed, he talks well, he's well behaved. Because by the time that you are living with this person from the club to the Airbnb, which means that this person was well behaved. If he wasn't well behaved, you would have left. Probably. Or if there were signs of violence, you would have left. Then this person calls you, you come, buys food, buys drinks for that matter, and even the lady can buy, there's no problem with that. And then in addition to that, you agree, you leave a club, you are going with this person to a specific destination. You see, that trend alone shows you that the risk could be there, but very minimal. Okay? So you cannot predict because you haven't seen this person being rogue in your presence. And you haven't heard of any stories corroborating that this person had done something before if it hasn't been aired anywhere or told you by any person for that matter who has experienced such a thing. Therefore you go with this person, you reach the room, okay, wherever you are going, probably you've lied that is your house or Airbnb for that matter. Then reaching there, you agree, you consent, you have sex, according to what was being reported, that probably there was used condom, which means that sex occurred first. After having sex, you kill this person, which means that the murderer is mental. There's something wrong with this person. Because why bring this person, have sex, then kill this person?
So at that point, Babu, and I want
so
you
this
to
person has mental illness.
I want you to think like a lawyer.
Yes.
At that point, we don't know what happened between the two of them. The only thing that we know is that they were in such agreement that they were seen at the lift laughing, walking into the room, because there's CCTV footage of all these murders. Okay? So we don't know what happened because they both went in there. Nobody was coerced. You can see these are people walking into the room. Consensual.
Yes.
So we don't know what happened in there. So why are we in the streets? Because right now you're telling me we don't know what happened. We can only assume. And anyway, Babu, if a fight breaks out between a woman and I, chances are I'm going to win that fight. It doesn't matter which woman it is.
Because you are strong, right?
Yeah, so if it doesn't matter how the fight started.
Yes.
I'm going to finish it.
Yes, but you see, going to the level of killing this woman.
We're not even there yet. We're just saying
yes.
There are only 5 names on the billboards when these people went to the streets, and the investigations haven't been concluded.
But you see,
so there's nobody who's been convicted.
You see, of course, but you see, Kibe, there is that idea of being placed at the scene of crime, okay, and being with this person. The fact that you are at the scene of crime, now the burden of proof still rests with the prosecution, yes, but the fact that you are the only person who was there and this person died, by the time you are leaving and CCTV showing that you are leaving and you are still there, you are at the scene of crime.
Yes.
So being there, you've been placed there, which means that you are the first suspect. You are still called a suspect.
Yes.
So when you go to court and the case is done, prosecution need to prove their case. When it is found that you are guilty, then now your name changes to a different thing altogether because there's that guilt. That is why there's that court process. But before that, is it not better to prevent than to cure? Because prevention is better than cure. If we see a lady going to Airbnb being killed after sex, another one goes, another one, then the 5, they all go to Airbnb and they're all killed. Honestly speaking, what is the probability that a 6th girl is going to be killed in the same way? So
but it's not by the same person.
If it is, of course, by a different person. But you see, if it is not condemned,
so
then somebody in their right state of mind, somebody in their right state of mind might think that, you see, we can do this and go scot-free with it. You see, so such things can even happen with the bare minimum of an argument. Okay, so to prevent and not to cure.
So
it was very important.
Why not prevent it the right way?
It was very important.
And you guys should always, and this is now you as a member of parliament, you should protect the society. You should never let one group of people go for another. Because the messaging right now is teach your son. Okay, so Babu, hold up.
Yes.
Listen to me.
Yes.
The messaging right now is teach your son. Teach your son not to kill us. Who's the message from and who's the message to?
You see, Kibe, from time immemorial, from way back, you know how things are. A man is physically stronger than a woman. So going
not in America though.
So physically.
In America they don't know what a man or a woman are.
Yeah, we have rights. We have rights. Even women have their rights. But when we talk about what you see, what you and I see, you see that Kibe is stronger than this lady, right? Because the way a woman is created, not with the same physique as the way a man is created. Therefore, and that's why even the Bible advocates that it is a man to go and toil and moil and work and provide, okay? A woman can also provide, there's no problem with that. But the work of a man is provision, that is very important. But Kibe, coming back home, I don't want to support anything to do with killing of any woman, okay? At the same time, I cannot support the killing of any man, okay? But in the same ratio and in the same breath that women are condemning the killing of women, is the same way people always condemn. Ukisikia hapa hata venye unasikia watu wanaingizwa kwa septic tank, okay? People always talk about it and say that, you know, we don't need to kill, you don't need to kill your husband, you don't need to kill your man. It has been happening. It's only that this other one went on the streets. The other one, probably, there were no men who were bold enough to go on the street to start demonstrating against it, because probably you and I tuko busy sana saa zingine, uko job huku, you don't prefer going there. But you see, this one raised. And you see, an eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind. If we say that, okay, now you are doing this, let us now do this in revenge, the whole world will be blind. Everybody will be destroyed. A shoulder for a shoulder. Everybody will have no hands. So by the end of the day, I will not support the fact that women were being killed and a woman is being killed. I have daughters. I have women in my life. So by the end of the day, I cannot go that direction. I would rather keep off and say that we need to respect the women in our lives. If there's a woman in your life, go with her. If you consent, you are grown-ups, you are adults, so long as usipate mtoto na usidefile na usirape na mmekubaliana. Kama kazi imekushinda, do you need to kill?
Hapana, Babu. I don't want to